And a very pleasant morning to you all on this beautiful Sunday morning as we continue with another session of Growing Up with Values with Aunty Drups. And it's again quite a wonderful pleasure to see you all again. And I hope you all were good children for the last few days, for the last week. And I hope you remember the lesson last week about wants and needs. And before we go into today's story, let's sit comfortably. Come on, all of us, let's sit very comfortably with our legs crossed. And we're going to have a nice little walk. Use our imaginations. Yes, we can close our eyes at this point. Right, so you are very relaxed, your eyes are closed, and your imagination is going to take you into beautiful places. Let us take a deep breath. Inhale deeply and exhale. Right, as we let our imagination take over, we are walking through a beautiful garden. And we are very happy with what we are seeing and what we are doing. We are listening to the birds chirping. We are seeing all the trees moving, swaying gently with the breeze. And the smells all around are very beautiful. We're smelling the flowers, the roses, and it's such a beautiful time. Our imagination is filled with beautiful thoughts. I am a good person. I am contented. I am very happy. And we remember the words contented and happy. Okay, I am contented. I am happy.
I am grateful.
And as we open our eyes, we think to ourselves, what a beautiful place this is. What a beautiful feeling to have, a feeling of happiness and contentment. I am grateful for what I have in my life. So as we gently open our eyes, we think of the words happy, contented, and grateful. Okay, and last week we heard about the couple, the gentleman, Mr. Raj, who was always complaining that he was not happy enough. He did not have enough. So whatever he wished for was out of not being contented. So he learned that it is not enough to just be complaining and complaining and complaining. He was getting the gold coins, but because he did not shout enough, he lost everything. And I hope you all have been practicing your wants and your needs. You have been telling mommy and daddy, no, I don't want that, I don't need it, right? So we differentiate, we differ between what we want and what we need. So today's story is about that same concept. The song we learned last week was appreciated by a lot of you all. You like the song, so we're going to do that song today as well. And I'll tell you another story about being contented, being happy, and being grateful. So, how many of you all have pets? Do you have a pet dog or a cat or something? Hamster? People have different kinds of pets. How many of you all have a dog? Right. How many of you all have cats? Okay, and other pets? Good. So, how do you treat your pet? Very well. Good. All right, so this story is about a dog, some dogs, right? And this takes place in the rural district of Caroni. Now, do you know the word rural? Yeah. Rural means countryside. And do you know what is the opposite of rural? the opposite of rural is urban, which means like in the town. So we have a rural district of Caroni. And sometimes dogs have no owners. So they just roam about the places in packs, right? So you usually have three dogs going about the place together, 4 dogs, 5 dogs, and so on. So we have this group of 4 dogs that go lying around the place. And what do dogs usually like the most? Right, the dog and the bones. Dogs like bones. So these dogs had bones in their mouths. And how many dogs were there? Right, 4 dogs. So when dogs are growing up on the street or in open areas over there, they usually look very thin and scruffy and undernourished, right? Because they don't get food as you would feed your pets, right? They just go around the place and eat whatever it is they can get, scraps that people put out by the outside their home. People throw out a piece of bread or some food, and dogs survive on that. But one thing that they would have in common is that they have a bone in their mouths. So the story goes, in this rural district, there was a little river, a river like this, and to get to one area to the next, there was a wooden bridge, right? So you have a wooden bridge here, and when you cross that bridge, it usually makes a little song of plank, 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 and so it goes. So the dogs now had to get from this side to this side. So, and there were 4 dogs. So the first one with his bone went across here. The second one went also and reached on this side, to reach on this side. Third one came across. But all of them just went across with their bones, walk and pling, plang, 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 and they reached to the other side. But the 4th dog now, whom we should call Scruffy, because he was really undernourished, he was very thin, and he looked right like he just, nobody cared for him. So he looks that way. So we will call him Scruffy. So Scruffy walked here. But as he reached the river, he looked down into the river. And what did he see? He saw another dog with a bigger bone than the one he has. So sometimes when you're outside and the sun is reflecting, you can see yourself as a bigger person on the ground, right? When that shadow comes on the ground, your shadow is usually very, very big. So as Scruffy was crossing the bridge and he looked down, he saw this dog here with a bigger bone than his. And what did he think? He said, wow, that dog has a bigger bone than mine. I need to get that bone. So he was growling, and he wanted to fight the dog in the water to take away the bone. But what do you think was in the water? Was there another dog? You are bright children. This was just a reflection of what he was seeing. He was here and he saw his own reflection. And the bone in the reflection seemed to be bigger than his bone. So he said to himself, I am going to get that bone. And he growled, and he said, I'm going to bite that dog. And as he opened his mouth to bite the dog, what happened? His bone fell in the water. And then he realized that he lost the bone, and the bone in the dog's mouth in the water had gone out of his mouth as well. So he lost his bone, and there was no bone in the water as well. So Scruffy was very disappointed and hurt, and his friends would look around to see what happened. After they heard all this growling and this attempted to bite the other dog, and they started to laugh at him because he dropped his bone in the water and he had none. So as they were excitedly going across to bury their bones, he had no bone to bury. And poor Scruffy wanted a bigger bone, and in the end he ended up with no bone. So I'm just going to ask you some questions now. Now, where did this scene take place? Sarvesh, where did that take place? Right, Caroni. A lot of you always know a place called Caroni. We have a big river in Caroni. It's called the Caroni River as well. It's wide in some places and it's narrow in some places. It causes flooding at some times if it's not well trained. Okay, so it takes place in Caroni. What kind of district did we call it? Virish? Yes, it's a rural district, a country district. Now, how many dogs were in this pack? How many dogs were in this pack? Levan? Yes, there were 4 dogs. Now, who can describe the dogs for me? Sharavi, can you describe the dogs? Yeah, they were thin and they were scruffy. They were undernourished, right? Because they did not get food from a master. Okay. Now, what was the name of the dog at the back? The 4th dog. What name did we give him? Ah, Scruffy. Scruffy. Does anybody have a dog whose name is Scruffy? Right, Scruffy. His name was Scruffy. Now, what did he see in the water? He saw another dog in the water, but was it really another dog? Kavir, was it really another dog? Yes. And what attracted him to the dog in the water? What attracted him? Juhi. Right, that dog had a bigger bone. That dog had a bigger bone. Now, what did he think to himself? What did he think to himself? Arna. Yeah. He thought that bone is bigger than mine and I want it. What did he do? Arya? He started to growl. Right? Have you ever heard a dog growling? When a dog is happy or sad? Oh, when does he growl? Yeah, dog growl when he's mad. And what does he do when he's happy? Yeah, he wags his tail. So he started to growl. And after that, what did he do? What did he want to do? Nishesh, what did he want to do? He wanted to bite the next dog. And what was his mistake? When he opened his mouth to bite the next dog, what happened to his bone? It fell in the water. Now, how did the other 3 dogs react to this incident? How did the other 3 dogs react? Kajal. They laughed at him because they knew that it wasn't another dog and it was another bone. So he came out looking very, very, very silly. He was very silly to drop his own bone, and then he had none. So what did Scruffy learn from this lesson? Right, he learned that what you all have learned last week and what you're learning this week, that you must be contented. You must be contented with what you have. And this works for everyone. When you're contented, God gives you what you need. Right? So what you need is different from what you want. Wants and need. And I hope you all have been practicing wants and need for this whole week. You have been to the grocery with mommy and you see a lot of candy. And do you say, mommy, can I have some of those candy, all of those candies? Is that good for you? One, it is not very good for you. And second, do you all know that this is a time of COVID and things are pretty hard for parents, grandparents? Some people have lost their jobs and maybe mommy and daddy cannot afford the things that they would have loved to buy for you. And sometimes when mommy and daddy says no to something, it is not because they do not like you. It is because it is for your own good, or it is because they cannot afford it. Times are hard at this time, and children must learn to realize that know that they don't need to go and splurge on things that they do not need. They have to be grateful for what they have. Thank God every day for what you have. Do not think that somebody has more than me and I need to have more. Be always satisfied with what you have. Remember, God does not make someone suffer unduly. Okay, it is a learning process. This COVID period has been a learning process for a lot of people. You have not been going to school. Very soon, students will be going out. We wish them all the luck and be safe when they go to school. Do all the precautionary measures. Wash your hands, be sanitized, and whatever else you need to do. Social distancing. Right? So we need to do what we have to do to keep ourselves safe, to keep our families safe. Listen to your parents, listen to your teachers, listen to the elders. They have experience and they know right from wrong. Okay, so we are going to share the same song that we did last week. A lot of you all like that song. I hope you all can sing it together. Do not always want, be contented. Be contented and be happy. Do not want, always want, be contented. It's okay to want what we need, but when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed. Okay, so we're going to play it and you sing along. It's okay to want what we need.
It's okay to want what we need. But when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed.
Again. Want, be contented. Do not want, always want, be contented. Be contented and be happy. Do not want, always want, be contented. It's okay to want what we need. It's okay
To want what we need. But when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed. Then it is only greed, just greed.
All right. Do you all want to practice that by yourself? Do you want to do it by yourself? Okay, let's do it one more time. Want, be contented. Together, lovely, lovely. Be contented. Everybody, in what we need. It's okay to want what we need. But when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed. No. Loudly, loudly. Uh-huh. Be contented and be happy. Do not want, always want. Be contented. It's okay to want what we need. It's okay to want what we need.
But when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed. Then it is only greed, just greed.
Okay, and I hope you all can sing that by yourselves and you share it with others. And I know a lot of you all are at home and you are bored and you do not know what to do with your time. But your imagination is something that can take you places. And all you have to do is sit down and I'm going to read some words for you and tell me how much of you all can practice this. I've traveled around the world without leaving home. I go anywhere My imagination wants to roam. I take a look in a folktale book and travel on the wings of words. Right? I'm going to read it again, and I would like you all to interpret it as you see fit. I've traveled around the world without leaving home. And none of us can leave home right now. We cannot travel the world because our borders are closed. So we have to make do with staying at home and letting our imagination go around the world. So I've traveled around the world without leaving home. I go anywhere. How do we go anywhere? Right. I know everybody knows what is an atlas. An atlas is something that shows you where places are located in the world. Right. My imagination wants to roam. My imagination wants to roam. I take a look in a folk tale book and travel on the wings of words. So I'm sure parents have storybooks at home telling about customs in different countries and things that people do in different countries. The borders are locked down and we are all very disappointed, but we can make good of a bad situation. Right? We cannot travel. I'm sure parents had planned to take children all around the world during this August holidays, but it's not possible. So we stay here, we avoid getting sick, and we are satisfied that we have to stay at home. We accept that fact, as a matter of fact. We accept the fact that we do not travel during this period. So mummies and daddies can look at the map with you, the atlas, and look at the countries and share different stories, because each country has stories that are familiar to that area. So mummies and daddies can share stories on different cultures, different stories, because each country has their own little ideas and stories applicable to those areas. So you let your imagination go around the world and make life interesting for yourself. So you don't need to be bored. You need to find things to occupy yourself. Now the story that I'm telling you about contentment and wants and needs. You can make a list of the things that you wanted, and you told mommy and daddy, no, I don't want it again because I don't need it. Make a list of the things that you do need and things that you want, but let it slide because it is not necessary in your life. So always be contented. Now you can do things like being contented with helping mommy at home. You can help make some new recipes with mommy. You can do crafts. I am sure a lot of you children love crafting. And there are many, many things that you can make. If you want some ideas for craft, just let your mommy WhatsApp me asking for ideas, and I will gladly send ideas that you can work with crafting. So we have lots and lots of things that you can do to remain contented. Do not complain and say, oh God, mommy, I am bored, I want to do something else. Lots of things you can find at home. And you need to be happy whatever your situation. Contentment brings happiness, and you must always be grateful for whatever you have in life. You have your mummies and daddies there to guide you and to help organize things that will make you interested in what you are doing, and not, mommy, I am bored, what to do today? If you would like your parents to make a plan for you for the day, I am sure that they are going to welcome that idea. So at the beginning of the day, you can say, mommy, what can I do today? Or daddy, what can I do today? And surely they're going to organize your day for you in such a way that you would not believe how occupied you will be on that day. So there is no need to be bored during this time. There's no need to sit and complain like Raj did in last week's lesson. You need to be always thanking God for what you have, praying for health and happiness and all the positive things in life. Throw away all the negative ideas that you will have and always stay positive. So before we close, let us sing this song one more time about contentment. Again, the difference with contentment and not being contented. You can always be contented once you put your mind to it. So let's do it again.
Do not want, always want. Be contented. It's okay to want what we need. It's okay to want what we need. But when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed.
Again.
Do not want, always want. Be contented.
Contented.
Always want to be contented. Be contented and be happy. Do not want, always want. Be contented. It's okay to want what we need. It's okay to want what we need. But when we want more than we need, then it is only greed, just greed. Then it is only greed, just greed.
Okay, and let us not be like that dog Scruffy who wanted a bigger bone than his own. Let us be contented with the bone that we have, right? And let us make that applicable to everything that we have in life. If we cannot have something, let's get our mind out of it and accept what we can have. So you'd be good children for this week, and I'll see you again next week, same time, 11 o'clock, on Growing Up with Values with Aunty Drups. Have a good week. Love you all. Bye. Love you.